When your cat sits across the room and just watches you, it feels simple. Maybe they're bored. Maybe they want food. That's what most people assume. Just a quiet animal passing time, staring without meaning. But if that were true, why do they do it so often? Why do they watch you when nothing is happening? No food, no movement, no reason at all. Something about it doesn't quite make sense. Because cats don't waste energy. Every movement, every pause, every look, it has a purpose. And yet, here they are, still focused, almost studying you. Most people never question it. They laugh it off. My cat is weird. But what if that stare isn't random? What if, in those quiet moments, your cat isn't just looking at you, but trying to understand you in a way you've never realized? Something about this behavior goes beyond curiosity. Cats are cautious by nature. They don't just give attention without reason. In the wild, looking directly at something for too long can mean danger or intention. And yet, your cat chooses to lock their eyes on you. Calm, patient, almost deliberate. Most people think their cat sees them as an owner, someone who feeds them, maybe even their favorite human. But here's the part almost no one realizes. Your cat has never truly seen you as human. To them, you are something else entirely, not above them, not separate from them, just a very large, very strange cat moving through their world. And that changes everything, because when a cat watches another cat, they're not just passing time, they're reading them, learning patterns, understanding behavior, deciding trust. So when your cat watches you like that, it's not boredom, it's observation. And if you start to understand what they're actually looking for, you might begin to see that those quiet stares carry more meaning than any sound they could make. And here's where it starts to change. Think about a moment you've probably experienced but never questioned. You move slightly, and your cat reacts instantly. A small shift of your hand, a change in posture, and their eyes follow before you even realize you moved. Most people would say they're just sensitive to movement, but that's only part of it. What your cat is really doing is tracking you the way they would track another living being they depend on. Not just what you do, but how you do it. The rhythm of your movements, the patterns you repeat every single day. Because your cat doesn't remember you as a face. They remember you as a presence. A collection of movements, sounds, and feelings all tied together into one thing. And that's the turning point most people never reach. Your cat isn't watching you to recognize you. They're watching you to know you, to predict you, to understand what comes next, to feel safe in what you'll do before you even do it. And once you realize that, you start to understand something unsettling but strangely beautiful. Your cat might know your habits better than you do. And this is only the beginning of what they've already learned about you. Think about the quiet, ordinary parts of your day. You sit down, your cat appears, you stand up, their head lifts, you walk toward the kitchen, and somehow they're already there. Most people explain it simply, they know I'm going to feed them. But watch more closely. Your cat doesn't wait for obvious signals. They notice the smallest changes, the shift in your breathing, the way your weight moves before you stand, the pause before you turn. Things you don't even realize you're doing. And people assume this is just instinct. But it's more than that. Your cat has been studying you every single day. Not in a cold or distant way, but in the same way cats learn each other. Slowly, repeatedly, through shared space and silent observation. They learn your rhythm. When you're calm, they relax. When you're restless, they stay alert. When something feels off, they notice before anyone else. Because to your cat, understanding you isn't optional. It's how they feel safe. And here's the part most people miss. This isn't just habit anymore. It's connection. Your cat isn't just reacting to you. They're in sync with you. And the longer you live together, the deeper that connection becomes, until one day it's no longer clear who is adjusting to who. But there's something even more surprising about how far your cat will go to stay connected to you. At some point, something subtle begins to change. It's no longer just about your movements or your routine. Your cat starts reacting to things you don't even show on the surface. You come home after a long day. You don't say anything. You don't act differently. But somehow, your cat stays closer than usual. Most people think they just want attention, but that's not quite it. Your body changes when your emotions change. Your breathing shifts. Your scent changes in ways you can't detect. Even the way you sit, the tension in your shoulders, it all becomes different. And your cat notices all of it. They don't understand your problems. They don't know your thoughts. But they feel the difference in you. So they adjust. They sit closer, they watch longer, they stay nearby without asking for anything. And most people never realize what's actually happening in that moment. Your cat isn't just observing you anymore. They're responding to you. Quietly, instinctively, without needing to be seen. Because somewhere along the way, you stopped being just a pattern to learn and became something they care about. And if that's true, then those silent stares you notice sometimes might not be neutral at all. They might be the closest thing your cat has to concern. But there's one moment where this becomes impossible to ignore. There's a moment that happens so often, people stop noticing it. You're still. Maybe lying on the couch, maybe asleep. The room is quiet, nothing is happening. And then, your cat comes closer. They don't ask for food, they don't make a sound. They just sit near you and watch. Most people think this is nothing, just another random habit. But in the wild, stillness like that means something is wrong. A lack of movement, a break in the usual rhythm. And cats are wired to notice those changes instantly. So when you become too quiet, too still, your cat pays attention. Sometimes they come closer, sometimes they gently reach out. Sometimes they just sit there, observing. People assume it's curiosity. But it's closer to something else. It's a check. A quiet, instinctive need to make sure everything is okay. And here's the part that hits differently once you see it. They don't do this with everyone. They do it with the one they've been watching, learning, connecting with, you. Which means all those moments you thought were meaningless were actually your cat paying attention when it mattered most. And if that's true, then their stare isn't empty. It's intentional. And what it really means becomes impossible to ignore in the end. At some point, if you've been paying attention, everything starts to feel different. That stare your cat gives you. It's no longer strange. It's no longer random. It's familiar. Because now you've seen the pattern. The way they follow your movements, the way they adjust to your emotions, the way they check on you when you're still. And suddenly, a quiet realization begins to form. Your cat isn't watching you for themselves. They're watching you, for you. Most people believe animals are focused only on their own needs, food, comfort, safety. But your cat has already solved those things. They know where food comes from. They know where it's safe. They've learned your world. So why keep watching? Because you became part of what they care about. In their mind, you are not just another creature in the space. You are the one they monitor, the one they learn, the one they stay aware of, because your state affects theirs. And that changes the meaning completely. That quiet stare across the room isn't empty. It's awareness. It's connection. It's a silent way of staying close, even from a distance. And once you truly understand that, you realize something simple but powerful. Your cat has been paying attention to you in ways you never paid attention to them. And that leads to one final truth, one that changes how you see every moment you share. In the end, it becomes clear. It was never just a stare. All those quiet moments, when your cat sat across the room, watching you without a sound, weren't empty. They weren't random, and they definitely weren't meaningless. They were connection. Your cat doesn't see your face the way you see theirs. They don't understand your words the way you understand theirs. But they've built something else instead. They know your rhythm. They feel your presence. They recognize the smallest changes in you and respond in ways so subtle you almost miss them. And that stare? It's how they stay close without touching you. It's how they understand you without language. It's how they care in the only way they know how. Your cat isn't watching you because they need something. They're watching you because in their world, you matter.